online. I'm so happy to see you all. Thank you so much for coming. I would appreciate it if everybody made their mobile phone silent if you don't mind. Okay. Let's talk about today's agenda. Warming up, some challenges that we have. I see, I'm sorry, the topic at first is autonomous reading and writing skills and techniques, because this would be relevant to the topic of our conference. Okay. This is our agenda for today, a warm-up, and then some challenges that we all have, or sometimes have when we teach reading and writing. We are going to discuss together some skills and techniques and activities, and there will be some useful materials. I hope they will be useful for everybody, inshallah. There will be some handouts and everything related to our presentation will be there on a Facebook page. I'll tell you about at the end of our presentation, inshallah. Then we talk about some general. Let's start at first by the first part of the presentation, which is reading. Do you think our students or our learners or the learners in general are that interested in reading on their own? No. Why? What are the reasons for that?
Hi guys, teacher at Canadian International College. No, they are not interested because simply they don't know what is it for them. If I want to be a banker or engineer, why do I have to go for IELTS exam, read like 2 or 3 pages? What is it for?
Thank you so much. Thank you. Okay, something else? Would you like to add something, please?
Because of the difficult word they face in the passage.
This is true. This is true. So, do you think it's important for learners to practice reading?
Yes.
What is the use of that? Some ideas, please.
Maybe they're gonna like learn new vocab or new words. Also, they're gonna feel like feel confident whenever they're gonna read the text in front of any other person. By practice reading, they're gonna feel it. They're gonna be confident. They're gonna also learn new vocab.
bilingual dictionary, English, Arabic, or the biggest disaster, which is sometimes Google Translate. As for vocabulary and context clues, here are some examples, and as I told you, all the materials I have already uploaded to the page. Okay? Now we can use synonyms as context clues, and we can tell them that way. For example, it was an idyllic day, and then they might feel confused. What do you mean by idyllic? Sunny, warm, and perfect. So, idyllic would mean she hums continuously or all the time. Okay? And it annoys me. Another way is what we call antonyms as context clues. For example, Emma had a lot of anxiety about exam, but I had no worries. Also, anxiety would mean no worries. Okay, it doesn't mean worries. I mean because we have the word but. Marty is gregarious, not like. So I would say here that this word is the opposite of. Even if it is the first time for me to see that word. Definitions as context clues. Some celestial bodies have, such as. So what comes after that will be. Good idea? The manager wanted a weekly inspection. What do you mean by this word? Which is. So a definition will follow. Explanations as context clues. Something in the refrigerator has a putrid odor. What's that word? Smell was wrong. Is it clear now? If it is, even if it's the first time for them to see it. He winced in pain when he hit his thumb with a hammer. Oh, so this the meaning or explanation to the word. Comparisons as context clues. Okay, sometimes he is by. So what do you mean by that? But others find them such much easier to solve. You got me? Contrasts as context clues. The picture of the landscape is. But the one of the old house is ugly. So there's the opposite of. Okay, cold weather soon replaced the swell. Virtuous and evil villain and so on. And then we move to something else, which is the idea of using Greek and Latin roots, prefixes and suffixes and so on. And in my opinion, this wallahi would help the learners or the students in general to get the meanings of words that they have never seen in their life. Here I have shared, and you'll find this file on the. I'm sorry. On the Facebook page that we talked about Greek and Latin word roots. And the opposites, of course, I mean using prefixes and suffixes and so on. Let me give you an example. If we teach, I'm going to give just one or two examples about this idea, about Greek and Latin roots. If you, as you see here, the file includes the Greek root or the Latin root with its meaning in English and some examples. I will take one word like the word bio, for example. So if I tell the students that the word bio means life, so what would you call the science of studying life? And what do you call somebody who is a specialist in that field? A biologist. And if I tell them that the word graph means write or draw, so what do you mean by biography? Talking about the life of somebody. And how about if I tell them that the word auto means by itself? Exactly, you write about your own biography, like Muhsin wrote Al-Ayyam, he wrote his own, the story of his own life. You got the idea? If you take just another example, if I say the word Geo means earth, so what would you call the study of drawing the earth? Because I know that graph means write or draw and Geo means earth. Okay, and what do you call the science or the study of Geology, exactly. And the scientist or the specialist will be a geologist, exactly. If you use this, this will help a lot, and you'll find it with a lot of words and a lot of examples like that. Something else, we need to encourage them to use English dictionaries. Okay, and we can encourage them to use Cambridge online dictionary. It's wonderful actually. Okay, it includes everything. Okay, and it will give them like the meaning, the definitions, the examples, even the pronunciation, British, American, and everything. Or dictionary.com. Okay, and you can also download or find the software of the same dictionary. It's everywhere. Because the point is that they usually, or a lot of learners, use Google Translate. And what are the disadvantages of that? Yes, please.
Giving like different meaning for the same word while it's not being used in the same left-hand.
This is-
It can be used for it.
Exactly. I remember one of my students who once told me, I don't like to have a bed in my bedroom. I like to have a rank on the floor. And I told him, excuse me, what do you mean by having a rank? The point is that he just googled the word martaba, which is mattress, and it got him the meaning of the word rank. Okay, so it happens sometimes. And of course, we make it. Sorry.
What the translate revision English.
Really?
Yes.
First time to see that. Okay. There was something also funnier for me, again using some Arabic words while thinking that it would be like the same thing when you say it in English. When one of my students once told me, after he had a fight with his wife, he gave her paper. True story. Okay, of course I understood her. It's an advantage to be Egyptian. We say that in Arabic, but we never say that in English. It happens a lot anyway. The coming part, actually, you know this very well, but this we can teach our students also. For some general advice for effective reading, very quickly you should consider where you read. This is something, the idea of vocalizing while reading, this would make the reading slower, so take care. Do not vocalize as you read. This will slow you down, it won't help concentration, and it will lead to bad reading approaches. Number 3, read at times when you can concentrate and maintain concentration by taking regular short breaks, perhaps like 30 minutes or 45 minutes. Set yourself reading tasks, and this is very important, by the way. Like you tell yourself, okay, I'm going to read today 10 pages, 1 chapter, some sections of that. And remember that reading often takes longer than you expect, and you often need to go beyond set tasks, so you should give yourself some time. Okay, I shared, you will find this also on the Facebook page that I told you about, something about the reading rubric, because our learners, and we'll talk about this at the end of the presentation, our learners should know their level in general, okay, according, of course, to the CEFR, or the Common European Framework of Reference, and what their levels are. Is it like elementary, like A1 or A2 or B1 or whatever, and they should know very well what they will be able to do after they, or at that stage, I mean. I don't want to go deeply into that. You read on your own, inshallah. Also, I have added, and you'll find this on the Facebook page, some reading resources. You'll find this on the Facebook page anyway. A good idea you can tell your students to, or your learners to work on their own, is to read while listening. Reading audiobooks is amazing. And you'll find a lot of websites that will help for that, like VOA or Voice of America, like manythings.org. You'll find all these links anyway. You can tell them about TED Talks. This is amazing, actually.
We can find audio texts only, not
Everything. I shared everything to the Facebook, just wait. Okay? Don't worry. Now we come to part 2, which is about writing. And these are, now this time I need you to talk. Okay? These are some of the challenges that the learners might face when they start writing. Okay? Like the language. Why do you think the language might be a problem or a challenge, let's say, for them sometimes. Please.
Sometimes they translate what they want to say in Arabic, they want to say it in English.
This is true. Like he gave her a paper.
Yeah.
Exactly. Thank you. What else?
Lack of the knowledge about the topic that they are going to write.
This is true. Thank you. Thank you so much. Yes, please.
Main problem when they try to want the exact word of the Arabic they have in their mind.
Thank you.
They cannot find relevant. Sometimes like, you can find easier words in English, relative, and they will convey the same meaning.
And not
They
everything.
want, yes, they want the exact word.
This is true. Not everything that you have in English will be the same in Arabic. Arabic is a very rich language. Okay, it's not like English. And sometimes you'll find some words in English are not there in Arabic. I usually give them this example. What do you mean by the word eat in Arabic? Eat.
Nothing.
Nothing. It is raining. It's cold. It's kind of you. You got me?
And sometimes they can convey the same meaning in other simple vocabulary they know. But because they want the same exact
This
meaning,
is the
mind blocks them.
Yeah, this is true. It's true. Some more ideas? Please. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you. Something you'd like to add? Okay. How about another challenge, as you see, is development of ideas. Do you agree with me? How to develop their ideas. Would you like to add something? Okay. Coherence. Do you agree with me that sometimes they write like, huh? Exactly. And we just, something, we are all teachers and we all hate correcting writing. Yeah. Hate correcting writing, raise your hand. I'm number one. Sure. Okay. So, and then you look at the paper. I will not say swear at the person who wrote it. But it happens, okay, that you feel so disappointed. Hey, what are you doing? What do you want to say?
It's a point I want to share, developing ideas. Sometimes I find that the students, they are memorizing some blocks or some formats. And they want to put it, at the same time they block their own ideas.
This is true. For two reasons, okay? It happens that some teachers, okay, they're not here with us, okay, who would just make the students just memorize. Do you agree with me? Does it happen? No one can deny that. And sometimes moms tell their children, Egyptian moms, yes, underline Egyptian. Yes, for the sake of grades, this is true. It happens.
I think this is according to the ideas or the minds of the parents. They want something, put it in their minds, go to the exam and deliver it in the paper. That's it.
This is true.
They don't
They
help them
something-
to think.
Development of their own ideas.
Of course.
I believe this is the main problem of working away from the organization, that they don't read. A good reader is a good writer.
Thank you so much.
They don't have any idea, they just see the prompt and they don't know what shall I write. I have no to say about it.
Thank you. You deserve a big chocolate, but I don't have it. Maybe after the session. Thank you so much. Thank you. More ideas? Okay, this is true. Okay, the text format and the different types of writing, and at higher levels, of course, we have plagiarism. Okay, we don't have this as part of our culture as Egyptians. Do you agree with me? Right? I mean, for some people, not for everybody. Just copy and paste. Okay, this will be for higher levels. I'm awfully sorry. Technical problems. This also, and you can Google it, one of the best websites for teaching writing from scratch. It is Purdue Online Writing Lab. And it will appear on the projector in a minute, on the screen I mean. Okay, actually this great website teaches you, and you can tell your learners or students about everything, and I mean everything about writing. From scratch, from how to write a sentence, everything about punctuation, about grammar, about... Here it is. Purdue Online Writing Lab. It's awesome. Even it is recommended by a lot of educational organizations, okay, to use about everything. And I mean everything. Okay, here as you see, this is something, of course I will not go through that much. Okay, general writing, the writing process, academic writing even, common writing assignments, the mechanics, the grammar, punctuation, everything about writing you will find there on that great website. Okay, so please use it and encourage your students or your learners to check it. Okay, now, very quickly, let's talk about developing students' writing skills by making. This is just one technique, okay? And as I told you, find all the materials on our Facebook page. And that's when I call it our, because it will be ours, okay? I'm going to show you at the beginning. I know that ladies are usually impatient, I know. I'm married and I know. I'm joking. I'm joking. Would you kindly? The ladies cannot smell. I don't know how to stand there. What happened? Okay. Anyway, don't worry, all the materials I'm going to share, or they have already been shared. Anyway, developing students' writing skills, making mind maps. Number one, the idea of choosing the topic. Normally, the teacher does this. I mean, you choose the topic. You know how sometimes we act like dictators. Today's topic is so and so. I do the same. Okay? But I mean, how about doing that? Let them choose the topic by themselves. Normally, the teacher does this. However, if you get students to choose the topic themselves, they are more likely to feel engaged with the writing task. Do you agree with me?
Yeah.
This is something. You feel that they are more interested in doing that, right? Have you tried this? Yes, please.
Can I tell you something? When I've tried this in my classroom, I have like 3 or 4 different points of view, and everyone was like, I want to write about this topic, and so the other group was like, why did you choose their topic? Because we want to...
You love them more.
Yeah,
Yeah.
They keep telling me all this all the time. So I told myself, okay, this time we choose this group topic. Okay, next time we're gonna choose another topic from another group. But they're just like keep jealousing from each other, which is something like.
I will not say anything. Come on, solutions. Hello, my friends, solutions. Yes, please.
You can make a list of all topics chosen by all children in the class, and then one day by day you can do or go on with a topic, then the other, and then.
Do you agree? More solutions, please.
Groups in a class.
Thank you.
Each group can choose.
Why not? Why not? Yes.
We can make a toss. This time
Why
we're
not?
going to choose for the
Why not? In the next time. There are always solutions. Okay, more ideas, please.
They can vote for choosing one of the
Why not? Why not? Thank you. These are all great ideas. Number 2, note taking, and this would be another idea. Okay, encourage students to close their eyes and think about the topic for a minute or 2 in silence, and then afterwards give them 2 minutes to note down their ideas. Then, working in groups, students compare and discuss their ideas, transferring them to their mind maps as they go. This might help too. Okay, any comment on that point? Okay, then the idea of feedback. Now, make a collective mind map on the board, and this would be the best part of it. Drawing on your students' ideas, it is this feedback stage that language problems can be ironed out. As you elicit students' ideas, you can help them to reformulate expressions or correct them if necessary. This might help. This is lovely, the idea of correction symbols. It's lovely. Don't worry, Wallahi al-Azim, I have shared them to the Facebook. Just wait. Wait. Don't worry, even if you like to take this, fine, no problem. Or take pictures. Okay, this idea of correction symbols, okay, I took it from one of the writing books, is amazing. For more than one reason. Number 1, because this will be, tell your students that this will be my way of correcting your writing task. This is one thing. And this would draw their attention to the mistakes that they are liable to make. Do you get me?
Yes.
Please.
But some of our nice Egyptian lazy students,
Yes.
they can take the copybook and they might
I agree with you.
not look at it again.
I agree with you. I agree with you. Who can find a solution to that? Yes, please.
I can ask them to edit their paragraphs. To edit their paragraphs.
I think good idea. Thank you. Rewrite it. Why not? And we correct again. She's talking about correction, by the way. We all hate correction, you know.
Some of the students can copy it as it is.
It happens.
And the correction at the end will be on your own. You are wrong to do it.
Yeah, this is true. This is true. Yes. Please.
I wonder why not making like a cycle from the very beginning. Students have to write the first draft in front of the instructor as
Yeah.
on a paper,
Yes.
This happens.
and then when they go home, they can review it by themselves and then give it to a peer,
Thank you.
and then the cycle go on
Thank
till
you.
the teacher.
Although it might not be that applicable in some of our schools, it happens. I'll tell you about something that we do here in the AC. Yes, please.
We can make peer collection for upper stages.
Thank you so much. I love your ideas. Thank you.
You can divide the writing onto two sessions, one as a workshop and the other at home.
Thank you. Why not? Already.
The lady said that in our Egyptian children, actually it's all cultures.
Yeah, not just
Yeah, it's just lazy students in general. It's not just Egyptian students, but
But
also.
we have more. Yeah, unfortunately, we have more.
No, I would disagree with you. I think there's children everywhere are just lazy and they just want to take the easy way out. And just to tag on something that's talked about feedback, I read in a study that actually teacher feedback is not as helpful as peer feedback and timely ongoing feedback. So at the end, once it's all done, it's useless to them.
Sometimes it's easy. It usually takes some time. Exactly.
On the way, on the learning process, on the continuum, as you are correcting and sharing the feedback, that is the most important time to get that feedback to get corrected. At the end, it's already done. You don't hear anything.
Thank you so much. This is true. Actually, here we do another technique, which is using the document camera. Okay, sometimes I get the learners, of course, without showing the name, if they don't like it. Okay, and just use the document camera here and correct it in front of everybody. Can we do it in another way? Why not? Using your projectors, you can just take snapshots with your mobile, okay, and share it with the correction. This might happen, okay, without just showing the names, because sometimes it's embarrassing for some learners. Sometimes, not always. Anyway, I would say that here we may find like some of their mistakes that they might make with punctuation, with some missing words and so on. If you use these correction symbols here in that slide, in this slide, or the other one, wallahi, this will help a lot. And even, you can share this. Sometimes we don't share this with our learners. Why shouldn't we? Just give copies for everybody to save paper and money and everything. Okay, you can create like, as we did here. I wouldn't print out for everybody. I was afraid that this might not have enough sheets for everybody. So I just shared it to the Facebook page. If you are interested, you just go download, print out, do whatever you might feel suitable for your learners. Here again, I shared something which is about the writing rubric that we need all our learners to know. Please, for God's sake, the learners need to know their actual level.
Are there tests to assess this? Are there tests to assess their learning level?
There are. I shared a test on that. Okay. So as you see here, this is like the writing assessment with the rubric and so on. So for level 1, for example, A1, now the students will be able to write simple notes to friends and. Okay, so you can share this with them. The idea of organizing mind maps, students now organize their mind maps into a linear format to decide the best way in which to present their points. They should first think about the overall structure and then focus on the precise function each paragraph will have in their final text. They need to do that. And of course, we come to the last stage, which is the writing stage. Students should then begin to write their compositions. Working in pairs, of course, whatever, in pairs, in groups, whatever, this will help. After 2 paragraphs, they exchange their compositions so they become readers of each other's work. Okay, and this will be great. I guess some of the ladies mentioned this point here. Once they have finished, they again exchange their texts. This will be great. This gives their text a communicative purpose, as well as developing the awareness that a writer is always producing something to be read by someone else. They like that when they feel that someone else is going to read what they have written. I have shared a lot of, you'll find this also on the Facebook page, okay, and I put it as a PDF. These are videos that teach the students, and for us all, a lot of writing skills, basic skills like taking notes, for example. Don't worry, I told you I shared this. Anyway, how to something about phrases, clauses, everything, even to the professional level of writing an argumentative essay, descriptive essay, and plus some general tips, and all of them are YouTube videos that you can even share with your students. Some general tips. Okay, some precautions and recommendations. Number one, the idea of learner's proficiency level. And as I told you from the very beginning, the learners must know what their levels are. I wouldn't ask a learner of A1 to write an argumentative essay. Do you agree with me? Even the task that I would give, I must bear this in mind, the proficiency level. And we'll talk about this at the end. How can we do that and how can we share it with our learners? Of course, cultural appropriateness. Do you agree with me? Some topics we should not talk about. Would you like to add something about this point? Okay. Learners' interests, themes, and topics. I guess we already talked about this. Gender fairness. Okay, yes, this is clear when you choose texts or themes. And of course, effective feedback. I wouldn't give it like 2 weeks and then give feedback to the students. Okay. As we talked about the idea that learners should know their English proficiency level, and here I shared like this link by Cambridge, and actually it's like a website. Okay. That everybody can use to assess their proficiency level. You have the test here, and you can start the test somehow. For example, whatever. Okay. And then you can go next, do the test, and then it will tell you at the end about your level or the learner's level. You'll find this also on the Facebook page, as I told you. Dictionary, actually. Thank you so much. And why do you think they are useful?
Because they are the most common used.
Thank you so much. Exactly. Oxford University found out that there are like 3,000, actually there are 3,538 words. And these are the most important and the most commonly used words in English. And the good surprise is that if you know these words, or if your learners know these words, they will be able to understand like 85% of everything that they hear or that they read. Okay, here I put, and you'll find this also, this is a link to this page, which includes, it has, the words with their meanings. And what's nice? Any questions? Please. Okay, sure. These are the sources that I used for the presentation. I'd like to thank you all. This is my contact information. This is my email. It would be my pleasure and honor to be in contact with you. This is my Facebook. This is my Facebook page, Michelle Muhammad, MM. Okay, it will be my pleasure and honor to have you all as my Facebook friends. And this is the Facebook page. It is already there. It's an open page. Like it and invite or join the group page and invite your friends to join it. It includes the materials, and inshallah, hopefully I'm going to add more links that might be useful for everybody. In the page I will tell you. Okay. I'm going to show you in a minute.